And we start with a spotlight on old Philip. He's struggling to read in the firelight. He gives up and stares in the fire.
Fire flickers. I cannot see to read any more. It fades. It's transient and fitful as memory. But memories return. The pier, the waves below, a bobbing hook, the swaying line.
Over these last two lines, young Philip takes up position, fishing rod in hand on Brighton Pier, a small bucket at his feet.
Won't you say hello? Won't you say hello?
Over old Philip's lines, he comes forward to young Philip.
I can never forget him. I can never forgive him. Never forgive myself. I read poems from his book every day. And always, in my mind, I see him. Hear him.
What ho? Fishing again, young fellow, my lad?
Sir?
I saw you here yesterday and the day before. I've been watching you all week. Do you like fishing?
Answer the question. Speak when spoken to.
Yes, sir.
I thought you must. You seem to catch so few, yet still you can't.
I like it very much. You can lose yourself looking at the waves and no one bothers you.
Am I bothering you?
Answer the question. Speak when spoken to.
Not at all. Thank you, sir. But today I have caught nothing.
So I see. How long have you been here on the pier today?
3 hours, sir.
So long, and still an empty bucket. It's all in the wrist and forearm, you know.
What is?
The secret of success. I know something about it, and I'm something of a fly fisherman.
You, sir?
Believe me, the slippery speckled trout, the crafty pike hidden in the reeds, silvery salmon, carp, queen of rivers, each with its ways, each a challenge and a strategy for each, mostly rivers and lakes, of course, but the principle's the same.
Really? Oh, teach me, sir. I long to take a big fish home for supper, to please my mother.
From here, from the pier, you need a forward cast. The rod, a lever, gives energy to the line. Let me show you, see?
He leans over the boy, his hands over the boy's hands. He pulls the rod in an arc overhead until it's parallel with the ground behind them, and then flicks it high overhead so that the line spins out a distance. This is conveyed by their eyes. There is no line on the rod on stage.
Gracious heavens! I've never put it out so far before.
What is your bait, lad?
Sandworms, sir.
Oh, no good. They disintegrate. You need a pheasant tail nymph or some poppers or a woolly bugger. All good flies and steady. I still have some, I think. I'll bring them if you like.
Would you, sir? Oh, that is very kind.
Now let's see if you could do it for yourself. Remember what I said? It's all in the wrist and forearm. So put it back and over and flick and stop. Bravo! Well done.
All afternoon, I cast and hauled and made another cast, and I caught fish. The sun blazed down, slowly bent towards the west.
Well done again. How many is that now?
5, sir.
That's very good off Brighton Pier.
I can't wait to show Freddie. That's my brother, sir.
I think you've earned some tea. My treat. And a Chelsea bun.
Oh, yes, please, sir. I'm ravenous.
In that case, we will have a slap-up spread. Eclairs and French fancies.
Donuts and cream slices.
Cream slices. Oh, how I love cream slices.
Oh, so do I.
How about cream horns?
Oh, yeah.
And scones with raspberry jam.
You mean scones?
Yes, scones. How are you on cake?
Oh, I love cake.
And I. Victoria sponge.
With cream and jam.
And rich, moist
The rich, moist fruit cake.
cake. Then come with me. We'll stop at a little baker I know. I have a small studio in the basement in Nizzles Avenue in Hove.
The lights change. They travel across stage, pull up their chairs in the middle, lounge to suggest they are in easy chairs.
In those days, we were trusting. We did what grown-ups told us. We believed what they said. We did as we were told.
Lights change onto the middle, a mellow atmosphere, tea and cream cakes.
Where are you at school, Philip?
Lancing, sir. I have a scholarship there. My father's dead. We are rather poor.
I was at Winchester. We used to play you at cricket. Do you like it? Lancing, I mean.
Yes, sir. I don't like cricket.
Nor did I. Another cake?
I couldn't.
What, a growing lad like you? Go on. So what do you like most at Lancing?
I like languages the best. French and Italian, but German I hate.
Oh, so do I. Filthy language, filthy people. Though Hitler's right about the Jews.
I think Hitler's a rotten egg.
Do you now? Well, let's not quarrel. I speak French quite well, you know. I translated some from the French. Do you know of Salome?
Of course. She's in the Bible. She did a dance for Herod.
So she did, with 7 veils. That was in our play. We invented it. Would you like us to speak French now? Nous pouvons parler en français si tu veux.
No, thank you, sir. I'm on holiday.
Well, what else do you like?
I like...
Yes?
I like poetry, sir.
Oh, you make it sound like it's some filthy habit, like picking your nose.
It's just that, well, the other chaps, they make fun of me. They're more keen on sports and stuff.
Ah. Rise above them. You're better far than they are. The soul of the artist is pure alabaster and wreathed in precious amaranths.
I'm not an artist.
But you will be. You will be. You show all the signs. You're sensitive to poetry and beauty.
Sometimes, when I'm fishing and I'm getting bored, I say poems to myself.
Could you say one to me?
No.
Why not?
Oh, it's soppy.
No, never. It is a proud escutcheon, a blaze of superiority of intellect, perception, and of soul, like liquid amber on the breath, both sword and shield against the world's hostility. Go on, say one for me.
So, we'll go no more a roving, so late into the night. Though the heart is still as loving, and the moon be still as bright. For
the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul wears out the breast.
And the soul wears out the breast, and the heart must pause to
Breathe, and love itself have rest. Though the day was made for loving, and the day, night returns and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a roving by the light of the moon.
Over the last two lines, he touches the boy's hair.
Such beauty, beauty's angel. Hair spun gold, rich lips carnation red, and skin of ivory, white and smooth and fine. Once I was such a one. I was beloved once.
Sir?
You recite very prettily. Byron, was it not? They called him mad, bad, and dangerous to know. And so he was, an irreligious libertine. But such beauty he could make.
What's a libertine, sir?
A libertine? Oh, a man who lives but for himself and for the whim of pleasure and doesn't go to church. Do you go to church?
To chapel, sir.
But do you believe in it?
I don't know, sir.
Oh, but you must. It was the making and saving of me, and so it will be for you. You see, I recognize the sickness in your soul. I am a poet too, you know.
Really? Would I know your poems?
I doubt it. Perhaps when you are older. I'd like you to have something. Perhaps it will speak to you.
Something for me?
From me to you, why not? I sense a fellow feeling, the soul of an artist.
He goes to the chair of the sleeping old Philip and takes the book of poems from his lap.
Here, let me inscribe it. To Philip, to one who dreams and longs for what he cannot have, from another fervid seeker after truth, your friend, etc., etc. Here.
Sir, you are too kind.
Oh, I think we can advance beyond sir now, don't you? Call me Alfred.
Cherish it always, Alfred.
And now it is nearly 6 o'clock, and I must go to mass, and you to the bosom of your loving family.
Only my mother, sir.
Oh, but she will wonder where you are, and she will want that fish. Where do you live?
In Ovingdean.
Oh, there is a bus along the seafront. When I was your age, we had a goat cart, my sister and I.
What's a goat cart?
Well, a little cart pulled by a goat. They were all the rage in Brighton. I miss them. Here, this will pay your fare home. And don't forget your rod and line, and your fish, and your book. Now go.
He shoos young Philip out, turns out his pockets.
And that's the last till Olive sends my next allowance. To live on scraps like these. No more bets on horses now for me. Hey ho.
The light changed. An old-fashioned doorbell of the kind that rings when a door is opened. Mrs. D to centre stage.
Philip, is that you? Where have you been?
Sorry, Mother, but you'll not believe. Look, I've caught some fish.
So you have. We'll have those for our tea. That's come at the right time. There's nothing in the house.
You have them. Oh, I'm not hungry.
Look at you. Jam all round your mouth. What have you been eating?
Scones.
Scones, is it? Where did you learn to speak all posh like that?
And jam. And eclairs. And cream horns. He took me to his flat in Hove for tea.
Who did?
He taught me how to cast a line as well. You just flick your wrist like this. It's easy when you know how.
Who did?
I met this nice man on the pier. He took me home to tea. He was ever so interesting. You know, he's a poet. You know, he gave me some of his poems. Look.
To Philip, who dreams and longs for what he cannot have, from another fervent seeker after truth, your friend Alfred Douglas? Sonnets of Lord Alfred Douglas? Oh, saints preserve us! Filthy! Abominable! Filthy!
She tries to tear up the book, which proves obstinately durable.
What did he do to you? Did he touch you? Did he try to put his hands on? If he laid a finger on you, I'll kill him, so help me. What did he do to you? What did he do to you?
Nothing. Nothing at all. He taught me how to cast my rod and gave me tea.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
She is literally frothing. She tries to tear the book with her teeth in desperation.
Bring me some matches, I'll burn this evil book.
It's only poems. Poems can't be evil.
You see, already he's corrupted you. Take your clothes off.
He tries to take off the clothes, rip the clothes off Philip's body.
Stop it. Mother, you're hurting me.
I'm going to give you a good scrubbing all over. I'll wash his evil out of you.
What has he done?
Never you mind what he's done. He did it, and that's enough. Now promise me you'll never ever talk to him again.
What has he done?
Promise me. Swear on your father's grave.
If he comes along the pier,
Then don't go to the pier.
I must go to the pier.
Why must you go to the pier? You want to see him, don't you? He has corrupted you. But I forbid it. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, Mother.
Then swear. Swear.
Right. I swear.
What do you swear?
I swear I'll never talk to Alfred again.
Alfred, is it? This is worse than I thought. Come with me to the bathroom.
She grabs him and tugs him off the stage.
We'll run a bath and scrub you clean and burn this rotten filth.
What has he done? What has he done?
The lights change. Back to old Philip.
She never did explain. All she would say was,
If you don't know, then I'm not telling you and putting ideas in your head.
They exit and the voices fade. Spotlight on old Philip.
how I long to see that man again, to hear his talk, and eat his scones with jam and cream. But I had sworn on father's grave. That was a mighty oath. She could not burn the book. The cover would not take the flame. In summer, there was no fire to burn it on. I rescued it when her back was turned and hid it in the garden shed. I did not see him again that holiday, although I thought about him often. Term came round, lower fourth, football, hockey, fives, and no escape. I fell in love with Clayton Minor, and no escape. The year passed. The sun shone again. Fred Perry had won Wimbledon, and soon there'd be Olympics in Berlin. And I was on the pier once more in Brighton.
Lights change, the sound of the sea. Young Philip again on the pier with his fishing rod. He casts more expertly. Douglas approaches, watches with satisfaction.
Hello, young fellow, my lad. What ho? It's Philip, ain't it?
There's no reaction. Douglas gradually through this realizes that something is wrong, and his joviality appears more and more to be whistling in the dark.
I was sorry not to see you again last year. Our little feast quite laid me low. Too rich for my sad stomach. No more cream eclairs for me. You learnt your lesson well, I see. That flick of the wrist. Very good, very good. And how is school? How is Lancing? Have you learnt any good poems this year? Perhaps you have learned one of mine.
He waits for a reaction. There is none. Young Philip keeps his head down, looking at the sea below, but we can see from his rigid back that he is well aware of what is going on.
Don't you remember me? I gave you tea and taught you how to use your wrist to get the nymph to fly, the lines spin out. We had eclairs, remember? And French fancies, donuts and cream slices.
Young Philip turns his back more firmly. Douglas can be in no doubt.
Not you too, Philip. God, why must you punish me? Still you punished me for 40 years ago. What more can I do? I join the church, repent my sins each day, go to mass and say confession. I have confessed the sin of unkindness, atoned for Oscar, my slanders and my feuds with Frank Harris. I made my peace with Robbie Ross at last. I wrote of Oscar's greatness, not his weakness. What more can I do? Sweet Jesus, take this burden from my shoulders, this everlasting loneliness and shame. I never did you harm, my boy, did I? I only fed you cakes and wished you well. My only sin, the sin of envy of your youth. What did I do, Philip? What did I do? The least that being a gentleman demands is, tell me what I did to you.
Still an obstinate silence. Douglas recognizes Philip is determined to avoid him. He makes a very formal, old-fashioned bow.
I thought I recognized a soul of purest alabaster. I was mistaken. At least I knew an artist when I saw one. Is there no end to it?
A light change. Old Philip by the fire.
An artist. How I wish I was. But war and building the New Jerusalem put paid to all those fancy daydreams. To build a hospital was more important than writing a sonnet or learning one. I saw his death in the papers, 1941. I was in the RAF, aged 20. Lost my heart to an aircraftsman, second class. It was not true that I forgot him. I never ceased to think of him. A sad, old, shriveled man, kind to me, whose kindness I repaid with learned contempt. Perhaps if I had joined the church, I would have found forgiveness and a kind of peace. But I could not, and I did not. Sometimes it was good.
You must rise above them. You are far better far than they.
That stood me in good stead. With the hatred of the world for me and all my kind 50 years ago. But mostly, I have bowed beneath the burden of guilt it pressed on me. Death comes, I see his shadow fall. I thought it would dissolve all things, but at the last, the guilt still crushes me. I knew no better. That is all that I can plead. And I believed what grown-ups told me.
Answer the question. Speak when spoken to. Do what you're told.
Come with me. Come with me. Such beauty, such beauty.
Burn this rotten filth.
Rise above it. We must both rise above it.
Filthy. Abominable.
We'll go no more a roving by the light of the moon.
Old Philip slumps in the chair. The lights slowly fade to blackout.